Okay, I think I'm live here, everybody. Welcome to the channel, Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel, and this is the Comedeorological Report podcast. And I'm just setting it up. Don't have anybody else on with me yet, but I know Brandon's coming soon enough. He's been out golfing today. He's been out golfing, living the good life there. Brandon Hauk. He's the main weatherman there for radio stations all over Alberta. For those of you who live in Alberta know well. Here he comes. I knew he wouldn't be long. Hope I let him in. I think I missed the target. There, I'll hit admit. Here he comes. Brandon Hauk, everybody. He's on his way in. I'm just setting up the thumbnails and podcast details. We do have some severe thunderstorms moving out of Manitoba. We've had a couple tornado warnings there today. I'm sure we'll be talking about more. Some tornado warnings as that went through Saskatchewan yesterday. And even some of those storms visited Brandon Hauk's neighborhood as well. You there, Brandon?
I am here.
Hey, buddy. How did
Good.
golf go?
Golf went, I'd say, pretty good. Almost got two birdies. Could have got two birdies.
Two birdies.
Not quite two birdies, but close. It was really
Not
close.
You're really close. Like define really close. We
As
gotta
in,
know now.
after two shots, I got it on the green, and it slid right near the hole, and it stopped, and it didn't go in the hole. So that's how close I was.
So like did you get a par at least?
Yes.
Okay,
Got
good. So it wasn't like I landed near the hole and then I putted 15 times, but I almost had a birdie.
Yeah.
It's like you had a solid par.
Solid two pars tonight.
That's good, man.
Oh,
Still,
yeah.
that's really great. That's really great. I'm just setting everything up still, you know, you
Oh,
know.
yeah. Especially after the day we had today. My goodness.
Yeah, well, tell me about it there. Can you? Are you allowed to?
Well, I can't tell about one thing, but I can talk about the other two things.
Okay, yeah, the really good thing you can't talk about it. I got you. Hank Fleistra.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hank's coming in.
Oh, nice.
Okay, well, we'll tell Hank that we can't talk about the really good thing.
Yeah. It's already in the chat. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, tell us about the things you can tell us about.
well, the first news that came out this morning was our coach that we've had for 17 years. Yeah, 17 years gets into the Pennsylvania Hockey League there with Pittsburgh Penguins. So that's pretty exciting for him. It's a big loss for us, but we've had him for 17 years, four championships, national championships. So yeah, he's definitely going to be missed, but I'd see him going to NHL. Yeah, this guy. I would not be surprised if he ends up there.
He's moving on up.
Moving on up in the hockey world. So after 17 seasons with the Brooks Bandits.
That's pretty crazy. So,
Yeah.
but then the Brooks Bandits got banned from Twitter.
Yeah. Got suspended on X for not following the rules.
What? How is this even possible?
What? Well, what rule did they break?
I don't know, announcing that their coach is moving on.
Hey, Hank.
Hey,
So yeah, they got Brooks Bandits are banned from Twitter right now. They got banned from the Alberta Junior Hockey League. Now they're banned from Twitter. This team, man, they're out of control. Their coach is
Out of
banned
control.
now. No, he's not banned.
No. He did get kicked out of a couple games though in his lifetime. So
Banned from some games at least. See,
yeah,
told yous.
he's a tough guy. So
Well, okay, yeah, that's a big day for Brandon and Hank. You had some big chases this week.
I had, yesterday, surprisingly, um, my favorite outing ended up being early morning one.
oh yeah.
Yesterday, storms were big, but it was one of those things where I got trapped in the rain. I only missed getting to North Battleford by about 10 minutes. If I would have been there 10 minutes sooner, I would have been okay. But I got there a little bit too late, and it was raining. The wind was coming in, and that was crazy wind hitting North Battleford yesterday. Just insane. And I couldn't get out of it again. It was one of those things where driving along, looking at radar, and I'm right at the front edge of the rain, almost pulling out ahead of the storm again. But I just couldn't quite make it. And in the end, the storm accelerated and rolled over top of me. So
And you just
I
watched her
drove
go.
for I drove for 90 minutes trying to get ahead of it. And it was so close many times that just never quite pulled out the front. And I was getting nice views and nice lightning to look at. Um, it's just that I was in the rain, so I couldn't get good footage of what I was seeing, you know? It's a little frustrating, but it goes that way sometimes. It
Sometimes being
happens.
in the core itself is worthy footage.
Yeah,
But still, hey, yeah, I mean you've caught a lot of really good storms this year.
I have,
Meteor-
yeah.
Meteorologist Mark has just joined us as well. Mark Ingles,
Ahoy.
ingleswx.com. And Ingles Weather on Facebook. We're trying to get him up to 10,000 followers on Facebook. Ingles Weather.
Yeah, that
There's
would be
a
nice.
up to golf ball size hail just leaving Manitoba. Had a couple tornado warnings on this line, but they're now becoming Ontario's problem.
That's a good call made by the Weather Center in Manitoba. They had that kind of drilled in right in that it's maybe a little north of their target area, but definitely within the risk zone they had.
It sure seemed, I made a forecast last night, and it seemed to me that the model sort of showed that the best storm would just miss Winnipeg to the north. And I'm not too surprised by the location on here. It seemed like mapping had it more in the southeast corner, officially, like the Environment Canada
Well, the
uh,
modeling
risk
definitely looked
maps.
like down towards my dad's house, um, which is in Warroad, Minnesota, there by Lake of the Woods.
I had the benefit of that Canadian HRDPS model being within the time frame that you can see that one on, and it showed a number of those storms moving north of Winnipeg on that. So I personally made a good call on my forecast video on that last night. I shouldn't be stepping on Manitoba too much, but I felt like I was been talking about that system of storms for a couple of days. I might as well keep talking about it till it's out of Western Canada.
Yeah, because who cares when it gets to Ontario, right?
Yeah, well, they got their own people there. They know what's up.
Yeah. Brandon Houks over here trying to predict highs of 71C here in my neck of the woods. What's up with that, Brandon?
Oops. I forgot to change the letters.
Well,
Yeah,
is it
so
gonna be?
Brandon Houck's been doing some forecasting in Washington, and he keeps forgetting to change his little Google slide from saying degrees C to degrees F.
Well, hey.
Ah,
Classic mistake.
F,
Oh
So
yeah.
this is
F that.
day three that I've noticed.
This is why I don't talk about America at all, pretty much. I'm just like, you know what? Use it on your own down there, too. You have lots of weather nerds and chasers everywhere, and National Weather Service and this and that. Lots of people that talk about that. But, I feel like Saskatchewan uh, to BC, there's not many people talking about that. There's a few. Manitoba is definitely well covered by Weather Center in Manitoba for sure. And Brandon's, of course, talking about Alberta a lot on the Facebook. Granted, right? Not on the YouTube. So just in general, I feel like, and I have a lot of viewers in Saskatchewan and Alberta who are like, I want more, so I eventually start talking more and more about the prairie. But I'm not trying to step on you guys.
Well,
It's
here's
fine.
here's the thing is like people are already getting their weather from more than one source anyway. It's not really like you share my stuff from time to time, and I think that's awesome. Whatcom County weather. Randy Small down there, and he's just across. I can almost see his house from here in Linden, Washington. We've been chatting a lot. Like it's all fun, right?
Until someone loses an eye in a tornado. Rainfall warning. So, Mark, you were the first one to call this. Congratulations, you win this one. You get the Atmospheric River Award. And
Ja boy.
I know you probably haven't been watching my forecast this week, but
Sorry, it's been
when you
busy.
first, no, I know I don't expect you to. Like, what do you need my knowledge for? You're a fucking meteorologist. But what I was saying was, when you first said it, I made a mention of it. I said, meteorologist Mark says weak atmospheric river coming to the coast maybe this week, and I said, I don't personally see it, but, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means like I have an understanding or a visualization. I mean, and that through the week began to change. I began to see it. It's like, okay, I understand. I understand why and how. You were the first, and you put me onto it, and I spent a couple of days looking, being like, I don't know, I don't really get it. And then until I was like, I see it. I see it lining up.
Well, the way
So
to capture these atmospheric rivers really is what drives an atmospheric river is a front stalls. And the way that that happens typically on the West Coast is a low will come in from the west, like approaching Washington or Vancouver Island. This one's north end of Vancouver Island, but then it'll spin northward up toward Haida Gwaii. And that motion of moving north instead of continuing east parks the cold front right in a manner that it just is funneling all of this moisture into somewhere along the coast. This week it's going to be Seattle and Vancouver, and that's your atmospheric river.
what's the name of that when the low warbles like that? It's like a Japanese word or something.
You're thinking of Fujiwara, and
Yeah,
it
it's
is
sort of
it
like
is
that.
commonly Fujiwara. I don't know that this one is specifically, but it is commonly a Fujiwara effect because in the winter, um, we'll a lot of times have a large low pressure system in the Gulf of Alaska, and we'll have these smaller lows that are pretty potent, spinning around that low, basically orbiting around it, right? And so that pulls it up that way. I knew somebody was going to say something about Pineapple Express. The reason why we're not calling this a Pineapple Express is because it's coming in from the due west instead of from Hawaii. So if you can find me a pineapple that grows at 50 degrees north, I'll start calling it a Pineapple Express. But until then, atmospheric river. All pineapple expresses are atmospheric rivers, but not all atmospheric rivers are pineapple expresses. I'll
Yeah,
say that
that's
again on the radio show. But yes, this one is not a Pineapple Express unless you can find me a pineapple plantation at 50 degrees north.
some people I know who are on the wildfire on the island have told me that a little bit of rain at least has fallen there. So the change
We've
has
had
begun.
rain. We've
The
had
change has
rain.
be
It's raining here right now,
There you go. So
actually. That's why I'm
pre
inside.
prefrontal showers. And that's
Yes.
good. Already taking a little bit of rain on the big fire story, so that's why I haven't
I
talked too much about that fire this week. I was like, well, it's gonna get rained on. It's coming.
I
I
do
didn't know.
think actually there's a big fire in the east side of the Olympics, and I'll point this out because we've gotten a little bit of smoke from it here in BC. It's called the Bear Gulch Fire. It's basically like if you go due west from Seattle, that's where it is in the Olympic Mountains. And so this fire is in the rain shadow zone of the Olympic Mountains. And so I don't know that it's going to get put out all that efficiently. They're only going to get about a half inch of rain or 12 millimeters. And I don't feel like that's enough to put out a large burn that's been putting up, pyrocumulus clouds the last couple of days.
Perhaps not, but I mean, there's more factors at play in what makes fire burn so aggressively and out of control. So first of all, you're going to have the cloud cover. You're not going to have the sun hitting the ground. You're going to have humidex values coming up,
Oh,
right?
don't
Even
get
if
me
it's
wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely going to calm down this weekend, but what looks like we're going to get warm again next week. Not like we were this week, but it looks like we're going to get warm again next week because it's still summer. And so I don't think that fire goes away. I think there's a risk of it catching on again later next week.
no, and it probably won't go away, of course, right? Hot spots are stubborn and they dig in. But still, I think this is a bit of a turning point for the fire season in general. It's a reset in mid-August in a way that, is quite unusual. It's
Right.
quite
We've
unusual.
definitely had events like this before,
Hmm.
but like it's definitely not an annual event, especially when we're you're not lucky, Joey, but we're lucky in that we haven't had a lot of huge fires, especially in southern BC, despite the very low snowpack from last year. Now I do think that fire near Port Alberni is going to get a lot more rain than this one in the Olympics is going to get.
Yeah, I think so as well. And, like I say, it's a turning point because we're going to see indices take a real slamming across the province. With mid-August now, only a little bit of time left to go.
Right.
Usually, most years you'd see a rainfall event like this much later, even late September, maybe even October. So I feel like this is timely rain coming in. It's going to really set things down. It's going to put things into achievable status. Like, can this be won? Yeah, we can win these. We can win these fires. We can hold them at bay, or at least gives like a lot of opportunity to get resources moved around, get plans drawn up, come
Right.
at
And
it fresh.
I
So
also like this is not the start of the wet season, right? This is just an unusual summer atmospheric river. We're still going to have many dry days between now and when the wet season begins at the end of September.
well,
Um,
I mean,
but
the
like you're
reality is,
saying, this resets us, and we're basically to the point that we were in mid-June, but we only have 4 to 6 weeks to go.
yeah, perhaps, but
Yeah.
I mean, this is the wet season. It's been going on in northern BC all summer, and
Well,
it's
that's
just
true. You guys
it's
haven't
just
had a dry
finally
season.
breathing. It's just finally taking a visit down, the coast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, especially areas north of Highway 16 in BC, they've taken a lot of precip this summer. Had a lot of down weather. It's their indices have been down for a long time. Even up in the Peace, they've taken a real beating on their fires there.
Well, and in the
So,
piece, that's a big deal,
and
right?
even here, this rainfall has been squashing fires in northern Manitoba, northern Saskatchewan in the last 2 days as those storms rolled through. That's rain, game changing rain. Severe thunderstorm warning continues in Ontario, but rain's been going on there. More is to come. There's a bit of a change in pattern going on now in the east. Things are cooling off. Some cold fronts are moving through. So when you look at the fire indices projected to be, I mean, I could show you here actually. I had it drawn up a few minutes ago,
What's
or
that warning in the
today.
north
Good. Let's find out before I go.
up in Yukon?
I think it's probably
That's what
like
I'm curious
high
about.
high tide or something. Storm surge warning.
Storm
Yeah,
surge? Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
What was it? A Canadian wildland fire information here. I got it for some reason. It's on.
I like how the website is so close to Narcan. That's how I always remember it.
Right.
Narcan.
So let's go August. What are we? 14th today.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll go August 17th, and we'll look at fire danger
Yeah, in
maps.
Saskatchewan, I hear they've sent some fire crews home now recently.
I think they're doing a lot of that now.
If this is what the
Not over, but it's improving.
fire risk map looks like in late August across Canada, this is a crazy, thing to see after the fire season they've had
Yeah.
here, after the amount of years we've had burning in northern BC, after how many extreme fire seasons we've had in BC. I mean, still, it's going to be a little bit dry yet for a little while longer in the Maritimes, but that will change too.
I want to point out this is still, because of the fires that happened in Manitoba and Saskatchewan, especially, one of the worst fire seasons in Canadian history. We just haven't really experienced it here in BC so much. I know there was some big fires up in the Peace early in the season, um, but this does rank pretty highly, even though like we've had very little smoke here in the lower mainland. I know ever since June, it's just been constantly raining at Karen's house. That's going to end though, now that she put up a weather station. So that's how it goes.
Perfect.
So looking at tropical cyclone formation, I mean, here could be something that delivers some precip up into Atlantic Canada, for example, even if
I think take this with a grain of salt because it's still probably about 10 days out, but I think that's a Newfoundland storm, or
yeah,
tropical storm Aaron.
yeah, it could be, right? And certainly it's going to change the game of heat distribution in eastern Canada.
Well,
So we
yeah,
got
because on that side, it's going to pull down cooler air from Quebec in over Nova Scotia as well.
So there is change even for them coming. So when you look at the fire danger map across the board, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying there won't be stories still to come yet, or that a week of heat is impossible that will make things really dry again in some of these regions and maybe wake some of these fires up. But what I'm saying is that's an incredibly positive looking fire danger map compared to what we've seen the last. I can't remember the last time we've seen a fire danger map in August look like that. Okay. Oh yeah. Um, Atmospheric river. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I was like, what the heck is this? But yeah, I see it.
integrated water vapor. The Wentz algorithm. Where did you Wentz? Okay, here it is out here. Look at that, nice stormy
It
Atlantic.
is
This
moist.
Our Pacific. Yeah, it's moist out there. The sun is setting. That might start to put these thunderstorms to bed a little bit, at least calm them down. We're hoping for the night. That low is in northern Manitoba. Rain on the backside, making heavy rain in the north there. Those fires have taken a lot of rain the last few days. Had some good rainfall on our active fires in the prairies. Real nice. That's
Brandon,
going
that's
to
pulling up a lot of cool air for you, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Your temperature cooled off. I saw your temperature cooled off by like 5 C day over day.
Oh yeah, today it's definitely noticeable after 33 degrees and humid X of 35 yesterday. It's kind of nice today.
yeah, it's been
Sorry, Joey.
it was chilly this morning here. I know Karen had what? What did you have on your thermometer this morning too?
2.7.
That's
Ooh,
2.7.
awesome.
ooh.
Yeah, northern BC, people complaining about how cold it is. And I think, although it's not a start to the rainy season, I feel like it's a sign of things to come. I just got that feeling. This is the feel of it right now in northern BC. It hasn't kind of changed much uh, since July of 2024. It hasn't changed that much. When we had that big pattern change suddenly, we've had, this pattern in the Gulf of Alaska. There's been low after low after low out there. It's kind of continued on. It maybe hasn't brought all the rain we wanted and all the snow we wanted last year, but still it continued to deliver, you know, largely a wetter, cooler summer in British Columbia than, realistically speaking, we've been like the cool spot in North America most of this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. And at work I'm watching Mid Atlantic over to Chicago, and it's just been hot every day. We're looking at temperatures north of 30, approaching 35 for places like Washington and Chicago and stuff. And whereas over here in Vancouver, like last week was the hot the this last week heat wave was the hottest it's been since I've lived here. We got to 30 here in White Rock, but it even last year felt like there were more days above 25 than there have been this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But until I see this bullshit stop, I'm going to expect wet, cool weather to be a feature into the fall and winter. I mean, with the La Nina watch now on, I mean, I'm skeptical on that as always until it's happening. But
I'm quite skeptical on the La Nina. I don't know if you read my thing, but I was like, well, the Australians don't see it, and I kind of don't see it either. And even if it does happen, it's kind of not going to happen. I'll talk about that a little more on the show. Brandon, you agree with me on that, right?
Oh yeah. We get nothing but Chinooks.
Yeah.
High stream flow advisory on the coast there. House Sound, Sea to Sky, Pemberton, surrounding areas, North Shore Mountains this weekend. Unseasonably wet funnel systems forecast across the south coast on Friday, bringing moderate to heavy rain across the region. ECC has issued rainfall warnings indicating the potential for 50 mils of rain, locally excessive 80 over high terrain. Heaviest rainfall rates are anticipated on Friday afternoon. I think there's places up the coast on Vancouver Island coast that could see much, much higher totals than that. That's just my opinion. Rivers are expected to rise rapidly on Friday and potentially into Saturday in response to rainfall. Glaciated river systems such as Squamish River current stream flow is high due to recent warm weather and runoff from glacial melt. And these rivers may experience enhanced hazard for high flow during this period. In other areas, particularly around Howe Sound and North Shore Mountains, high stream flow in response to heavy rain is expected. Rainfall rates are expected to be lower away from the coast. Headwater areas around Whistler and Pemberton may still experience high stream flow from the rainfall. Current stream flow modeling is indicating the potential for flows around the 2-year range. While these levels may not be high enough for specific flood concerns, high flows and rapid rises in rivers can pose a hazard. Don't go camping down at the river bottom and fall asleep there this weekend, friends.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't
as
be
that,
surprised if we see a couple of 100 to 120s out on Vancouver Island.
yeah, and maybe even a little higher. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Hey, look at this. So the storms are moving currently in through the morning. This is until noon Ontario time there. This shows us 2 to 4 centimeter hail possible in that area A. Not a lot of people live up there, fortunately, but that whole thing kind of moves to the east. So wait, what am I on here? Am I in the wrong one completely? There it goes. Friday into Saturday. So could see some strong storms there up north of Moosonee, west of Moosonee. That is what is going on in Ontario as that low starts to pass into there. Bam, 3 minutes till Frankie, friends. Got through all the maps.
Guys, I'm up to 8,300 followers on the Facebook, so 17 to go.
Nice.
Excellent.
And I'll say this on the stream. The reason why I want to get to 10,000 followers is because you can start monetizing it. And by that, I mean Meta pays out money for you based on the engagement that you get, but you have to have 10,000 followers to meet that threshold. So Ingalls Weather, you can see my name at the bottom left as I'm talking. Ingalls Weather, go give me a follow so that I can get cold hard Zuck bucks.
Yeah, and
Zuckerbucks, yes.
that's why we do this. We're just in it for all the money.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
What is the temperature there, Karen? What is the temperature?
Oh, right now it's about 18,
Oh, you made a recovery.
right? From
Yeah.
2.7.
Get well soon. Yes.
What's the
Yeah, there you
temperature
go.
there, Hank?
15, less than Karen.
Not bad.
In
15
Alberta,
and light rain. That's perfect. That's perfect
East-
weather.
I'm in central Alberta now. 15
Oh.
here.
Yeah, what are you doing there, Hank? You're going the wrong way. That's not where storms
What?
are.
I agree. What is the weather going to be like for my pilot tomorrow? My work is flying me from Calgary to Fort St. John.
Wow.
Wow.
Where's
You're going to be so
That's-
close to me.
Yeah. I've never
You're gonna
been
be-
there
You'll be in
before.
for a shock in Fort St. John from
Well, just so
Calgary.
just so you're not shocked when you get there. One thing you should know is it sucks.
Yeah, I know. I already know that. But what is my pilot going to be experiencing at 5 p.m. tomorrow?
5
At
p.m.
5 p.m., I don't know. Yeah.
Dread before he lands.
Yeah.
I think there's a few thunderstorms, but like nothing huge. Is that
Couple
right,
showers.
Joey?
That's easy stuff for my pilot.
I mean, honestly, I'm not expecting any
Oh.
crappy weather necessarily interior wise, some showers and whatnot. I mean, it's mostly a coastal story getting underway. You'll probably be just
I
fine.
have made it. A lot of rain has reached Vancouver, British Columbia, and meteorological fall starts September 1st.
Well, we're just warning Hank not to go to the strip club in Fort St. John there and get into fights with all the oil and gas guys up there. Okay, I'm set and record. All right, Comedeorological report time. Joey Only, the Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel is where we're watching the live stream here Thursday nights. What is it, the 14th of August today? It must be, yes. 14th of August, you're listening to us on C for 88.7 FM, Prince George, CKUW 95.9 in Winnipeg, CFBX 92.5 in Kamloops, and also 100.5 CHLS in Lillooet. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada, the Comedy Meteorology Report. Let's friggin' get on with it. Let's go.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather or not.
And that's right. I'm Joey Only, the greatest weatherman ever from Wells, British Columbia. The greatest from Wells ever, I should say. That's what I meant to say. Here with the greatest weatherman ever, period, from Sydney, Nova Scotia, Frankie McDonald, the man himself there, world's greatest YouTuber. Yeah, we love Frankie. He's going to give us a worldwide weather report here in just a second. Of course, we got my henchman, Brandon Hauk, as always, there out in Brooks, Alberta. He's the radio man there, the weather voice of Alberta. He's a beauty. He's coming at you real soon. Also, meteorologist Mark Ingles, ingleswx.com, Ingles Weather on the Facebook. He's with us as well to talk about all things on the West Coast and beyond. We got storm chaser Hank Vliestra has been running around Saskatchewan. Right now, he's on his way to Fort St. John in British Columbia. And he's on his way driving, this time not chasing storms. And Karen Richards is with us from Prince George. She's one of the moderators at the Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers group I founded about 11 years ago. Okay, it's your show about how much the weather sucks, like I said, the Comedy Meteorology Report, because the weather is funny business. Well, our first guest needs no more introductions because, like I said, he is the world's greatest weatherman. He is Frankie McDonald.
Frankie!
Can you yodel for us?
Who has the worst weather in the world, Frankie?
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie!
How you doing so far, Frankie McDonald?
I'm doing great so far. Then it got cooler weather heading for Nova Scotia on Friday in the Friday evening. Then it got cooler weather in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Then it got the Hurricane Aaron. It's gonna go out to sea. It's gonna bypass Nova Scotia completely.
Gonna bypass it altogether, eh?
Yes, so Hurricane Aaron's gonna bypass Nova Scotia instantly. It's gonna bring a lot of rain. Then you got cooler air in Nova Scotia next week as well. And Aaron's gonna bypass Nova Scotia, and Aaron's gonna miss Sable Island too. It's gonna affect the offshore rigs.
Yeah, there's Frankie's long-range prediction. Is it going to change the weather at least in Nova Scotia?
They're bringing lots of rain in Nova Scotia right now. By thunder and lightning in southwestern Nova Scotia right now.
Yeah, well, how's it in Nova Scotia? So they had a law there, Frankie, where you can't go out in the forest, and that's why Frankie's not been able to go start fires.
Because I didn't do it at all. That means, and that means then they got some cooler air hitting for Nova Scotia. Then the cold front's going to go through Sydney, Nova Scotia overnight tonight. Then it got some lots of hot weather in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. Then it got a whole lot of rain in Vancouver, British Columbia, Seattle, Portland. Then it got lots of rain, thunderstorms going on in central states right now. Desert like heat in Nebraska, western Kansas, western Oklahoma, in Texas, Arizona, where Gary Dean lives in New Mexico and California. Then it got some fires in California too. Then it got and weather all across Central America. Lots of rain thunderstorms in Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Niger, Honduras, and Panama. A lot of rain thunderstorms going on in Venezuela right now, down South America. A lot of rain thunderstorms in Venezuela, Colombia, parts of Ecuador, parts of Bolivia, and parts of Peru. In northern Peru, and Chile is really dry right now. Lots of rain on the south coast of Chile, and it's lots of snow up in mountains of Chile. Then you got a big storm coming off the coast of Argentina. Then it's going to head southward bypass. It's going to bring really cold temperatures and snow and rain up across Stanley Falkland Islands. And really windy in southern Argentina, coming from the south during the southern hemisphere winter, because their meteorological spring starts on September 1st in Argentina.
Right. Yeah. It's coming soon, isn't it, Frankie?
And lots of hot air in England right now. It's really hot in the United Kingdom right now. And got hot air in the United Kingdom. Even up in Inuvik Northwest Territories. It was really hot up in Inuvik Northwest Territories today.
Yeah, it was, eh? What else you got, Frankie?
Lots of hot weather in France, Spain, Portugal. Then you got some hot weather heading towards Norway this Sunday coming. Then you got really hot weather in southern Norway. Then you got cold weather in northern Norway. And it got some cold weather in Finland, Sweden as well. Then got some hot weather in Germany, Denmark, and Netherlands next week, early next week as well. In Poland, it's cooler than normal. Moscow, Russia. It's really hot in Bosnia, Croatia. Then got some thunderstorms in northern Italy, in Italy as well. Then it got some thunderstorms and raining all across Bosnia, Croatia, all those places. It's really hot in Albania, Greece, Romania, Serbia, Bulgaria. And Ukraine is really hot there right now too. It's really hot in Egypt. Then it gets some really hot air in Libya, Algeria, Morocco, in Israel, and Jordan, and Lebanon, all those places. In East Asia, typhoon just struck Taiwan. It was really bad there.
Yeah, I seen that.
A lot of
Typhoon
rain and thunderstorms going
Udai.
on in southern China right now. Then got some rain and thunderstorms in Japan right now, including Sapporo, Hokkaido, Japan. They got really hot air heading towards Sapporo, Japan. South Korea. Later on next week is supposed to be a storm heading towards South Korea, North Korea. It's going to bypass Vladivostok, Russia. There's a lot of rain thunderstorms going on in Wuhan, China, Hong Kong, and southeast coast of China, and Beijing, China. Lots of rain there. And thunderstorms. So it's Philippines, Vietnam, Laos, Bangkok, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Myanmar, Bangladesh, in Indonesia. A lot of rain thunderstorms going on there right now. In India, in Mumbai, India, there's a lot of rain thunderstorms in Mumbai, India, and Delhi, India, right now in Sri Lanka. They're still in the monsoon season there. A lot of southern Indonesia is in the dry season. And it got a lot of rain heading towards Indonesia, Papua New Guinea as well. Then it got Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria. It's really hot, so Saudi Arabia and Arab Emirates, and including Yemen, Qatar, Oman, and those places. There's a lot of big tropical waves coming off the coast of Africa. A lot of rain thunderstorms in Nigeria, Ghana right now. Bring a lot of rain and thunderstorms in west coast of Africa. A lot of tropical waves coming off of west coast of Africa as well. It's really dry in southern Congo. Lots of rain thunderstorms in Uganda. It's really dry in Tanzania, Mozambique, Madagascar, with showers in the forecast in La Reunion and Mauritius Islands. It's really hot in South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Angola, and all those places. And the weather all across Australia. Then it got some more rain heading towards Perth, Western Australia. And more cold air in Sydney, Australia, and Melbourne, Brisbane, Australia. It's winter there right now, still in the winter. Their spring starts next month. They'll be getting a lot of hailstorms in Australia, southeastern Australia, September, October, November. That's their severe weather season in the southern hemisphere spring. Next Tuesday, they got a lot of rain headed towards Perth, Western Australia. And it got some really nice weather in New Zealand. They got rain in for Auckland, New Zealand, Gisborne, New Zealand, Napier, Hawke's Bay, New Zealand, Hamilton, New Zealand, New Plymouth, New Zealand, and parts of Wellington, New Zealand. Then it got some cold temperatures in Queenstown, New Zealand, Invercargill, New Zealand, with rain and snow forecast, including Christchurch, New Zealand, Dunedin, New Zealand, Nelson, and Greyville, New Zealand as well. Then up around down Antarctica, starting to get some daylight there. And starting to get some darkness up in the Arctic. Here's the water spout outbreak in Russia.
Ah, for your radio viewers, listeners, we have a water spout outbreak from Russia, from Bolat Bakarov there. Frankie loves to follow his Russian videos.
It's Kirill Bakanov.
Oh, Kirill. Yeah, okay, Kirill. Who's Bolat? That's a different guy.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to go to Russia now, everybody. The mysterious world of Russia. 2 tornadoes, 2 water spouts, it looks like, right away. Out there in the water of Russia. The Russia Sea. Where is it, Frankie? That's a big body of water. Is that the Caspian Sea? Is that the Black Sea, Frankie? 2 tornadoes. Where do you think that is? It's hard to tell because it's all written in Russian. But for you radio listeners, let me describe it. It's 2 water spouts, big, long, rope-like water spouts. And then there's one far and behind. There's a third one even. They got water spouts like crazy over in Russia, and they're dancing around each other, all spooky like.
This
Really trippy stuff.
this lake is huge, and it's near St. Petersburg, kind of near the Finnish border.
Which
That's
lake
that
is
guy.
that then?
Near St. Petersburg, near the Finnish border.
Near the
Lake
Finnish border. Near the
Lake
finish line.
Ladoga.
There's Dagestan, Russia. Severe flood in Dagestan, Russia.
Okay, here we are. Severe flood in Pakistan, Russia. For you radio listeners there, there's cars floating on by, and there's a lot of people standing there looking, and they're saying, there goes my car going down the street of Pakistan or Russia somewhere in that region. Big floods, Frankie says. And as you can see, it looks crazy. People are up on their second floors looking out the window, and there's water everywhere. There's cars floating on by. There's a house going over a waterfall.
This is not the first time they've had big flooding in Pakistan recently.
Wait a minute, it's Dagestan.
In Dagestan.
Yeah.
Not Dogestan.
Dagestan,
yeah. Dagestan,
Somewhere in
Dagestan.
Russia. There's somewhere in Russia.
Here we are somewhere in Russia, and there's destruction everywhere.
Dagestan is on the Caspian Sea near Azerbaijan.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Azerbaijan, yeah. One of those countries that you just don't hear a lot about in world politics. They're pretty quiet.
Azerbaijan and Georgia.
Lightning struck a lot of horses in Russia.
Lightning struck a lot of horses just in. Let's see.
In Pakistan, Russia.
Holy content. This may be disturbing for you radio listeners. I better not describe it. There's horses everywhere, strewn asunder.
That's sad.
I said I wouldn't describe it.
Yeah, don't describe that.
It looks really bad. Yeah,
that's the risk you take. Bring in your animals when it's going to lightning out.
That's a lot of horses. That's like 5 to 10 horses.
And that's over in that country. And look at the damage from early August.
Yeah, there we go. There's that storm again that toppled all those transmission towers, Frankie? Somewhere in Russia.
This is in Siberia.
In Siberia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you hear about this? I got news for you. Meteorological fall. Leaves starting to change colors up in Inuvic Northwest Territories already.
Yeah, well, even in the Caribou, in some places, the leaves are already been showing some stress. My mom said in Southern Ontario it was the same thing too. The leaves were showing stress, and some of them were starting to change. It was been so dry there, unbelievably dry in Southern Ontario, Frankie. They had wildfires back there. You'd never hear of that. Wildfires in Southern Ontario in August. It's always the weather's so convective and very generous with its rain.
Wisconsin had a lot of flooding.
Wisconsin had flooding this week. Anyone got questions for Frankie McDonald, the great weatherman himself?
I have a question for Frankie McDonald, the great weatherman himself.
Okay, and go.
Frankie, what's the weather going to be like in Tokyo, Japan when I'm there in mid-October?
That's a long ways off yet. Then it'll be transitioning from rainy season to cooler season.
Am I going to get hit by a typhoon when I'm at Disneyland?
You have to keep an eye on typhoons.
Okay, I will.
Man, I would hope so. If I was there, I'd be like,
that's kind of how I feel too. Like not a huge one, but like, I don't want to see people die, but I do want to experience the power of nature.
But what if
I
you
heard
don't
that
see
Japan is actually the snowiest country in the entire world, and that surprised me.
Yeah, they get a lot of cold air off of Siberia, especially up in the north by Sapporo. Yeah, Frankie's got it. So they get a lot of cold air off of Siberia, and then they get upslope on Sapporo because it's mountainous, and it creates kind of like here on the West Coast, other than it's cold air coming off Siberia and not warm air coming off the Pacific.
Yeah, like I don't think Japan on the whole, like Japanese people experience winter the same percentage level Canadians do. But I think if you're in the mountains of Japan, when you get one of those like epic snow dumps where 15, 20, like have you've seen some of
Yeah,
those images of Japan, just like
especially in
people,
like the northern third of the country, I think.
can you
I agree
imagine?
with everything you're saying.
All right, let's
And
start talking about how Hank's gonna pay us $1 million and he's gonna put us on a private jet to Fort St. John.
I've never been to Fort St. John. This will be my first rainy experience there ever.
He agrees. He agrees with everything we're saying.
That's going to be so exciting for you. Yeah. I really like that one sushi restaurant there I went to. It was pretty good. Yeah, and there's a nice hotel I stayed in, and I like the country, the Peace. Like I like the Peace a lot. The Peace is really nice in general. I really love the Peace, but I wouldn't choose to live in
I'm
Fort
going to
St.
be well
John.
fed.
But you know, that's me. I choose to live in the mountains and wells, so that goes without saying. Any other questions for Frankie McDonald? What about on the live stream, a live chat there? Anybody got a question for Frankie on there? Feel free to leave a comment in the chats there on the live stream. Caribou Weather Dude YouTube. Yes. Ding, ding, ding,
Frankie,
ding.
Frankie, what is the best train journey in the world? Which train would you take?
What?
Yeah, I don't know what you said. What did you say?
Frankie, what he says, what is the best train journey in the world, Frankie?
Train.
Before the Russia's war is Trans-Siberian.
Yeah, that one would be pretty good, I bet, eh?
That would be amazing. And it would take a long time.
I have one for you, Frankie.
Yeah.
Karen Richards.
Is the weather in England going to cool down anytime soon? My son is melting there.
Weather's going to cool down anytime soon in West Coast of British Columbia, in Western British Columbia, and any other parts of the world, and all around Europe and all those places.
How about England?
Weather's going to cool down in England soon.
Nice.
Gonna cool
Thank
down.
you.
Up in Siberia, leaves are changing colors and Yakutsk already.
Oh, leaves are changing color in Yaktus. Frankie McDonald, the world's greatest weatherman. I love you, buddy. You're so great. And we do have a Frankie video we're going to play for you in a little bit here. First, though, we're going to go talk to Brandon Hauk. Who, out in, we got some funny news in Brooks, Alberta. The Brooks Bandits have lost their head coach there. They don't know where the last place they've seen him. He's been missing there. They lost their head coach, and they're not allowed to be on X anymore. They've been kicked off of Twitter. Brooks Bandits.
The Brandon Hauk Report.
Oh, hi. This is the Brandon Hauk Report.
Brought to you by
Smoking good barbecue.
Yeah, this crazy Brooks, Alberta. They get kicked out of the Alberta Junior Hockey League. And now they're like kicked out of X.
Yeah, I know. Just wild stuff. By the way, speaking of smoking good barbecue, in 2 weeks here, we're going to be hosting a backyard barbecue from our radio stations, and somebody is going to win a backyard barbecue. And who knows, I might be grilling. You never know. Grilling that smoking good barbecue in somebody's backyard in 2 weeks on a Tuesday night. So it's a Tuesday night. So it's not a Thursday night. So I won't be missing the show for that. But anyways.
We have a lot of evidence that you like food, but we haven't seen like evidence that you're good at cooking. So like, is this like a winning thing?
Well. I grill up a wild steak, medium rare. Just saying, 7 minutes aside. That's how we do it.
Okay. All right, just saying, we are science people. We require a high standard of evidence. Brandon Hauk, here's your report.
So yes, we did have some wild news today. We'll get to that in just a second. We had, some rain to start last weekend. We got a little bit of heat to end off the weekend into early this week, and we had some storms yesterday. Now, thing is with the storms yesterday, the cold front went through just a little too quickly, so that means we didn't get all the wild weather, the fun weather they had in Saskatchewan yesterday with the large hail, strong damaging winds in a few spots there yesterday. Foothills eventually yesterday evening put on a little bit of light show in our area, and it was kind of nice, I have to say. And that big cool Yeah, so it was 30s in Brooks at one point, with the Humidex felt like 35. Meanwhile, it was like 16, 17 degrees in Edmonton yesterday afternoon. So a big, sharp contrast in the temperature, and we had wind gusts easily exceed over 65 kilometers an hour yesterday as those storms rolled on through. And then those storms continue to roll on through the prairies this morning and bring quite the shelf cloud into Winnipeg this morning. And now we've got severe weather moving from Manitoba into northern portions of Ontario, northwestern portions of Ontario this evening. Now, the news that came out this morning at 8 o'clock this morning caught me off guard there. Was not expecting that. Didn't have that on my bingo card this morning. Was, well, we had this incredible coach for the Brooks Bandits, and his name is Ryan Papuano. Ryan Papuano. He's been with the Bandits for at least 17 years. That's right, 17 years. He won the first national championship with the Bandits, 2013, in Summerside PEI. And then we won the championship again in 2019, right here in Brooks, when we hosted the NJAC tournament here. And I'll never forget that tournament. That's when I really got to meet Cale Makar. And he's the guy that really fueled that Cale Makar character that you see on the Colorado Avalanche down in the U.S. there. So now, yeah, he's got quite a few players into the NHL. So it's pretty incredible what he's done so far. And then 3 back-to-back championships, I believe. One in Portage la Prairie, Estevan, and out of Ontario as well. So it's been quite a ride, that is for sure. And now moved on in the BC Hockey League and won a couple championships there. So now he's moving on to bigger things, especially from junior hockey into kind of a step closer to the NHL, I guess. Really close to NHL. Association to the Pittsburgh Penguins team. They call this team the Wheeling Nailers. That's right, the Wheeling Nailers. And I'm searching all over the place, finding out what a Wheeling Nailer is. But anyways, we'll get that for the next episode. So that's one big news story. So yes, that's how you say the guy's name, Ryan Papuano. Papuano. And I see a lot of comments on it's pretty funny looking at the comments on the Wheeling Nailers Facebook page. Oh, good luck saying that guy's name 5 times fast. Well, when you spend 17 years with him, you can say his name 5 times fast. Just saying. Anyways, as we move on to the other story today that happened that also caught me off guard. I just read that on the messenger. Okay. Anyways. So, the other thing that happened today was, oh, yes, the Bandits, their X account got suspended after all the news broke today. So apparently they broke the news on X, or broke rules on X there. So that was, yeah, that wasn't good. Anyways, moving on into the weather story for tonight. We're going to see the, high pressure. We got kind of a dirty high. I call that dirty high. That's going to bring some shower. We're going to see some showers pushing in out of BC tonight. The rumble thunder, I don't think we're going to get anything too impressive tonight into tomorrow morning. And we'll see the temperatures spike up in the south tomorrow, pushing mid to upper 20s. And then as we move into Saturday here, we're going to really start cranking up the heat. Temperatures pushing mid to upper 20s, probably low 30s across the south. And chance of showers and thunderstorms late Saturday afternoon into the evening. Once again, we'll watch southern portions of Saskatchewan, areas up into northwestern Alberta as well, through the weekend into early next week for a couple rounds of thunderstorms. So we're not quite out of the woods with the thunderstorm side of things just yet. Mid to upper 20s looks to stick around Sunday, and then we really crank up the heat Monday into Tuesday here, pushing low 30s across southern Alberta again into early next week. So we're in for a bit of a spell of some heat here. Meanwhile, BC's coast is going to get quite a bit of rain with the atmospheric river. I know Mark will talk about that coming up shortly here. And now, the stories of the week. Oh, boy. There's some good stuff this week, I have to tell you. That's right. Some very good stuff. So, first off, apparently, there's a wedding with a couple who were, yes, having a chicken tender wedding. That's right, a chicken tender wedding. And they had the Hellman's Mayonnaise mascot officiating that wedding last week. So that was the chicken tender wedding. The other story that I found this week is apparently blowing into the conch shell could help with sleep acme and prevent snoring. So there you go. Next time you go to the coast, you find your little conch snail shells, just give it a little blow. Might help you out maybe one day. You never know. You never know. And oh yes, anything else? Oh yes, the man steals lunar rocks from NASA 8 years ago. He got in trouble. He was wanting to give his girlfriend the moon. She wanted the moon, so he stole the moon rocks from NASA, and ended up, getting in big trouble for that. 8 years in jail for stealing moon rocks. So there you go. That's the latest on the Brandon Houck Report.
8 years in prison for stealing moon rocks there. Still watching severe thunderstorms in northern Ontario now, 12 kilometers southwest of Eagle Lake at last reporting. Golf to tennis ball sized hail, 90 kilometer hours wind there. Risk of a tornado for Werner Lake, Eagle Lake, Paul Lake, and Sydney Lake. So that is going on right now. Check this out. Someone's real mad at me right now. Can you see that? Or is it still showing you the radar?
Radar.
Okay. I've learned something now. Yeah, I just got this is angry stuff there. Like, I'm not trying to upset anybody by making my videos there. But I better screenshot that at least before I block them for my own public safety. But that's unfortunate. There. That deals with that guy. Blocked.
Nice.
Yeah, what do you do, man? That's people literally threatening me, for just talking about, whatever, wilderness stories. People are going to talk. That's what people do. You can't control the world, dude. Yeah, but hey, another death threat. That's the way we roll around here, us weather nerds. And we just love taking everybody's anger here. That's what we're all about. No, obviously, what it said in my video was I identify with those people, those YouTubers who passed, because I'm doing what they're doing, and living the dream, and we're doing things that we would be doing whether or not we had a YouTube channel or not. We would want to be living life the way we do. So, like, you spend enough time in the wilderness, sometimes the odds get you, the percentages get you. And it's unfortunate. It's sad. I said what beautiful people they are. So I don't know what that guy's so mad about. Whatever. That's it. So that's what our job is. Take abuse. That's what it takes to do. Okay. Meteorologist Mark Engels.
Just got the fat check for pushing that.
My name, Mark Engels.
Pushing that agenda. It says here, HARP, climate change, whatever, in my bank account.
There you go. Meteorologist Mark there. Let us have it.
Good evening, everybody. It is raining here in White Rock, British Columbia. It is August 14, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. My lips look really red because I made myself a mocktail that had fruit punch in it. You can't see that on the radio, but it looks like I'm wearing lipstick. But I'm just going to start this off with a disclaimer that Brandon Houck, I'm not going to read any of your messages until after my segment is over. He did not do the same when I messaged him during his segment. Okay, so it is raining here in White Rock, BC, and the reason for that is we have an atmospheric river approaching. It was quite toasty earlier this week with a heat dome. Thankfully, the heat dome was centered offshore. Let's see how many of these words that make people angry that I can say in one report. Okay, so we had a heat dome offshore, but that was centered around 140 degrees west. And the West Coast is about 125, 124 or so. So we missed the peak heat, but somebody did die possibly because of heat in Portland. So this was the real deal. It wasn't record breaking, but even if it's not record breaking, it can still be a problem. Me, I live in a nice place. I have air conditioning. So I can just enjoy the heat or go inside and suffer and get out of the suffering. Not everybody has that, especially places like Vancouver and the Lower Mainland. So when all you chumps up in Kamloops and Kelowna are like, oh well, we get to 42 or whatever. Yeah, but you have air conditioning, and not everybody here does. That's just the reality of life. People can handle different things differently, and I think Environment Canada handled that really well with their heat warning for 30C. It was a nice beach day though. I spent 2 days on the beach last weekend. So that was nice. I got plenty sunburn. Now we got this atmospheric river coming in. It is not a pineapple express. Many of you grew up hearing the term pineapple express. I grew up hearing the term pineapple express when I lived in Tacoma. And I still use the term, but I reserve the term Pineapple Express for when a atmospheric river is coming from near Hawaii, where pineapples grow. Um, we've learned a lot about pineapple expresses. The term atmospheric river was coined in the 90s. It's not new, just because your favorite media source picked it up 3 years ago doesn't mean it's 3 years old, right? I guess I'm feeling a little snippy tonight. Anyway, this pineapple express is coming in due west. So if you find pineapples growing at 50 degrees north, let me know, and then I'll start calling it a pineapple express. Atmospheric river coming in due west, 50 degrees north. Not a lot of pineapples growing there, but there are a lot of pineapples consumed there by people living on the north end of Vancouver Island, I bet. Okay, so we got a rainfall warning for the mountains and a few lowland areas like Squamish, and I think like Hope may be included in one. Probably 50 to, well, they're calling for 50 to 80 millimeters of rain out of that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some totals in excess of 100 millimeters in the North Shore Mountains. 120 wouldn't surprise me in some areas on Vancouver Island, especially on the windward side of the island. This is going to be very helpful for that fire by Port Alberni. There's actually two large fire. Well, not there's two fires of note by Port Alberni. One of them is under control now, and the other one is out of control still. But both of those are going to get a good soaking this week, or tomorrow especially. Tomorrow's the wettest day. Tomorrow, Friday, and then we get some leftover showers here in the Lower Mainland. That the cold front driving that pushes inland. And so we see some showers in the interior through the weekend. That's nothing new for you guys this summer, of course. And then we warm back up. Not looking like a big heat wave, but we do warm back up. I wanted to talk about, though, other than the weather, bringing perfect summer weather here to the Lower Mainland. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I moved to the Lower Mainland for mild rain. Okay. I grew up in Kennewick, Washington. It regularly gets above 40C in the summer. So to have a forecast of a high of 19 and rain in the middle of August, like, let's go. I'm so ready. And in fact, I'm so bummed because my foot is such that I can't go on a hike tomorrow. I'm getting some treatment for stuff that I'm not going to talk about on the radio because it's yucky, but it's difficult for me to walk around. It means I can't go enjoy my favorite weather. So we're going to go to IKEA. And instead of walking around outside, I'm going to walk around in IKEA, I guess. And that's just how it's going to be. But I am going to get Swedish meatballs in Coquitlam. So if you're in Coquitlam tomorrow at IKEA, look for me. Okay. There was a landslide near Endicott Arm. That's about 100 kilometers south of Juneau, Alaska last weekend. This created a tsunami. It looks like the wave run up was about 25 feet, or what's that? Probably like 8 meters or so. This is different from the small tsunami that came across the Pacific from the earthquake that happened in Russia a couple of weeks ago. This was localized to just that fjord. I bring it up, though, because in British Columbia, we have events like this, too, both on the fjords and on the lakes in the Coast Range, where I haven't seen a lot of details on this event in Alaska, because they're still researching it and it's in a very remote location. But in BC, one of the things that's happening is with glaciers melting, that is changing the weight distribution on these slopes. And ice that was there is now water in the ocean. And so sometimes these slopes fall into water bodies. There was a huge landslide or a huge tsunami created by a landslide in a lake in the Coast Range. I think that was in 2020. And so I just bring this up. Obviously, the risk of this happening while you're there is very low, but it's just something to be aware of. Don't camp, don't set up your tent right on the water. That's I think most people who are used to being in the backcountry and in the wilderness know that. But it's a good reminder: don't set your camp up near the water. Well, on the water. There was a group of people kayak camping in near this in Endicott Arm near this landslide, and it washed away some of their packs as I read it, but their tent was just above the high water line. So that was scary stuff for them, and but nobody was injured, and they were able to get back to Juneau just fine. So that's what I have, and then Brandon Hauk, I have a few notes for you actually. Now I know Joey and Karen grew up with a 9-planet solar system, but you and I, you're like a year older than me or whatever. So do you still feel like it's wrong when people say there are 8 planets, even though there are 8 planets in the solar system? Like, does that just sound wrong to you?
Yeah, I still believe Pluto should be a planet. Just saying.
So I was talking with my daughter.
I have a different answer.
Okay.
I don't believe that Pluto.
Joey was around before the planets were created, by the way.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. I got a haircut and a shave this week, so you can't friggin' tell so much. Yeah. No, I'm not in the category of Pluto should be a planet necessarily. My argument is that there are moons that should be considered planets. That moons of Jupiter, perhaps, and Saturn should qualify as planetary bodies.
Well, they are. They're called minor planets. They are in the minor planet database, I'm pretty sure.
So when you say 8-planet solar system, I'm like, how boring.
Well, and Pluto is a dwarf planet along with Ceres and several other dwarf planets. But my point is to me, even though I know that we have an 8-planet solar system, it still feels wrong to say and hear. And I was not mentally prepared to hear my daughter tell me, Dad, did you know there are 8 planets in the solar system? And my first thought was like, no, there's 9. And then I was like, wait a second. Because I was in like grade 7 when that change happened. So I was indoctrinated to 9. And I know that's the case. And I actually am team Pluto should not be a planet, but it still feels wrong to hear it.
Okay, so in my defense, because you mentioned Joey and I, and we're a little bit older, concerns me that it's not a planet anymore. It's wrong in my world, but I get you. It's a new world. It's all good.
Well, I'm just here like, the old ways are dying. Brandon Hauk, I have a question for you actually. Who's the best girl to go fishing with?
Oh, probably Dua Lipa.
No, I'm gonna. It's Annette,
Ah,
and comes with the bonus. She always likes to bring her brother Rod along.
ah.
He's third reeling it the whole time.
Well done.
Yeah, I only want to go fishing with killers. I mean, people who like are adept at killing fish.
Well,
Yeah,
but Annette, you're more efficient.
Be like, hey, don't you want to go with Jodie Foster? I'd be like, no, she's not good at fishing.
You know who else is not good at fishing? Mark Ingalls.
See, I want to go with Mark Engels.
No, you don't.
Mark Ingalls is a good angler. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, I'm going to bed. I'm
I'll
tired.
I'll teach you how to fish, bud.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Yeah.
I hope you can. That would be good.
I bet you a week up here, I'll have you just slaying. Just slaying.
Oh,
Just saying.
Mark.
Meteorologist Mark, thanks for your great reporting and everything. Thanks for
Oh,
everything,
follow us
Mark.
on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Castbox. Follow me on Ingles Weather on Facebook. Let's see what I think that's everything. Okay, good night for real.
Night.
Yeah. Good night for real, Mark. There goes meteorologist Mark. Karen, you got your new weather station this week, and it's hard to set them things up, isn't it? I had to have like a computer scientist. I live with a computer scientist in Josh. He's the person who kind of like gave me the knowledge on how to like set things up at least. So like once it was kind of good to go, I could dial it all and figure it out. But he's like, this is the setup. I'm the computer. And he did that too when I had the weather station or if anything, really crazy. I have this computer scientist, but you probably didn't. And you had to
No,
get
I
your
did not.
weather station online.
It's been horrid. I tested my brain, like, I can't even know. Like, tested my brain. I've tested Mark. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I got it set up somewhat. It's been fun, but it's, oh my God, it's so hard.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you got her going there. Anything else there from Prince George this week?
No, just the freaking cold this morning. Cold. 2.7.
Yeah, well,
Cold. Like, what the hell is that?
that is British Columbia, northern BC. Yeah, well, I wonder, I could just have a look at my own personal weather station here. Let's find out. How cold did it get in Wells this morning? It'll take a minute to load up here because everything's slow here. What was it? So it's 14.7 right now it's measuring at. That's nice. What was my low today? Low of 1.7, 1.9 C this morning. That's how low we got today. So just a touch cooler than you.
Too freaking cold.
Yeah,
August.
It sucked. That's what it does. Okay, well, we got some other big news, Brand. I don't know if you heard about this, Karen, but this other big news I got. I'm just going to get the screen set up here. So this guy was a famous surfer, Dale Webster. He rode for 14,642 consecutive days. All right, he's like the Guinness World Record holder of like most surfing or whatever. Died at age 77. He rode waves daily for 40 years straight. That's like almost as long as I've been alive, man. 14,642 consecutive days, and he died. Dale Webster this week. The Northern California surfer who paddled out every day for 40 years died at 77. It was shared by fellow surfers, the news of his death, no cause given. Known as Daily Dale or Dale Wavester. He's got the Guinness Book of World Records for longest streak of consecutive days surfed, an extraordinary 14,642 days. Cal Ripken Jr., you think you played a lot of days of baseball? This guy friggin' surfed for 40 years, man. It began in 1975 and ended in 2015, so he was no longer surfing at the time. His feet required him to surf at least 3 waves a day, rain or shine, in sickness or in health, through frigid Pacific waters and shark-rich lineup of Sonoma County there. He's from Alhambra, California. Born in 1948, he began stand-up surfing in 61 at the age of 13. He moved to Bodega Bay in 1973. He sparked 2 years later of a run of large swells known as the Monster from New Zealand, sparked a wave of personal challenge to surf every day for 100 consecutive days. Well, 100 days, that's nothing, he decided. He reached that milestone. That publicity gave a pat in the back to make it a year. So then the challenge became a year and so forth. And until October 2015, he never missed a day. And inspired by people like Doc Paskowitz and Phil Edwards, he followed Edwards' dictum that a wave wasn't truly ridden unless it was taken all the way to the beach, fin friggin' digging in the sand there. The streak was much about as grit as it was waves there. I mean, some of the difficult conditions there, besides sharks and whales and stuff, year-round water temperatures hovering around 50, drop it into the 40s in winter. That's Fahrenheit, Brandon, 40 Fahrenheit there. Storms regularly battered the shore, and the surf could be fickle or outright dangerous. He also had kidney stones, thyroid problems. Imagine he's surfing around with kidney friggin' stones. Man, this guy is crazy tough. And he paddled out the day, even after his wife died of cancer. So kidney stones, cancer, nothing. This guy doesn't care about anything. He was just surfing it all the time, riding those waves. He said back in the year 2000, I'm out there watching the seals and sea lions and 30-inch salmon jumping and all those waves to myself. It's like my own personal Disneyland. He needed surgery for the kidney stones. That's why his streak ended. So, but he had surfed 923 waves, they figure. His dedication was profiled in Dana Brown's surf documentary. He reflected, saying, surfing is really a challenge. It's not, it may not be barreling, but the act of putting on a suit, going out there and just being in the water feels wonderful. That's crazy, man. So, yeah, Dale Webster surfed himself right to the very, very end. What do you think of that, guys?
Yeah, quite a story indeed.
Quite a story indeed. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to set up the next thing, but I'm having trouble.
I do
here,
have
of
a
course.
record story from this week, too. So the most beans ever eaten with toothpicks. You want to guess the number? In 3 minutes.
Man. You know, when you compare that kind of a record to like dude surfing for 14,000 days, you know, that's so brutal. Like,
Well, how many beans with toothpicks? You
you
gotta
know,
pick
like
a
one
number.
guy dedicated his whole life to getting in the Guinness Book of World Records. Another guy was like, I bet you I could poke a lot of beans.
It's a pretty big number, actually. Pretty impressive.
Is it?
For 3 minutes?
Okay.
Okay.
Shoot, I'm going to guess then. I'm going to
Yeah.
say for 3 minutes, 60 seconds a minute. How many per second do you think? If it's crazy, we're going to say maybe he could do 2 per second. Well, how many beans could he get on
And
there?
that
Maybe.
means then again Frankie video coming up.
That's right. We got a Frankie video coming up. Frankie, how many beans do you think this guy could eat in 3 minutes? So, you know, in 180 seconds, 180, let's say 1,000. He got 1,000 beans.
1,000 beans. Carrot,
I'm
how many?
going 1,500.
1,500. Frankie, how many beans? In
Over
3 minutes.
100.
Over 100. Well, the actual retail answer is 559 beans in 3 minutes with toothpicks.
It's still the stupidest record ever.
That means you get the Frankie video coming up.
I got a Frankie video coming up. I'm going to look for it right now, Frankie. And you know what I did for your video this week is I put in some of the screenshots or some of the time lapses that Hank and I had made. Right, so we got Frankie video and time lapse. Of course, his weather forecast was for a day that's already passed. He got it correct. This week was extremely hot in Vancouver Island. That made fires stand up and do things. Frankie got his forecast correct. This was his forecast. It goes like this.
This is Frankie McDowell, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major heat wave is head towards Vancouver Island on Monday, August 11, 2025. It's going to bring really, really high temperatures in Vancouver Island, including Victoria, British Columbia, Port Renfrew, British Columbia, Sauk, British Columbia, Saanich, British Columbia, Colbert, British Columbia, South Duncan, British Columbia, Ladysmith, British Columbia, Port Alberni, British Columbia, Tofino, British Columbia, Nanaimo, Parksville, Quemacon Beach, Courtney, Comox, Campbell River, Port McNeil, Port Hardy. And interior Vancouver Island temperature is going to be extremely hot for the next few days, including Vancouver Island, Central Vancouver Island. I urge everyone to wear your light colored clothes. Do not wear dark colored clothes. Have your fans and heat pumps ready and air conditioners ready to keep the house cool. Head to the beach, go swim to get cooled off for people living in Vancouver Island. Don't walk too far. Stay in the shade. Drink a lot of water for people living in Vancouver Island, including Victoria, British Columbia, and its surrounding areas. In Nanaimo, the temperature is going to be really hot in Vancouver Island starting on Monday, August 11, 2025. Stay cool and be safe. Don't get too hot. Stay cool, be safe. Hey, Joey, and the members of Comedeorological Weather Report. It could be a climate lockdown when the whole world goes into the entire lockdown.
Oh my
to
God.
fight climate change. The whole planet Earth would have to go into lockdown to fight the climate change.
You think so?
It's not a pandemic lockdown. It's a climate lockdown. When the whole planet Earth goes into a complete lockdown to fight climate change for Frank Down.
I don't know, Frankie. I think people were really upset about, you know, the lockdown the last time. I don't think they'd go for that. I think the extreme
Especially
rise up
Russians.
Yeah, I think the extremists would rise up and probably shoot me first. Probably I'd be first on their list.
And Russia's getting more powerful. That means that Russia and the Middle East they're against it.
Well, yeah, we should lock down Russia maybe. And yeah, maybe the White House too. Man, the world's crazy, Frankie. The world's crazy out there. Do you really think that would ever happen, Frankie? A worldwide lockdown for climate change?
Just imagine that. Then it will be. That means that a lot of people will be against that, especially communist countries.
No, they'd probably be the ones most likely to be in favor of it. I bet you though, you'd have like a bunch of like truckers go to Ottawa and be like, "They're taking our freedom." They'd probably say things like that, and then people would send me death threats.
Then that means there's especially Russia.
Especially Russia would send me death threats. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you know that's great. What's your plans this weekend, Frankie? What are you planning to do?
Karaoke, and guess what? Jason Marshall, we don't have cookies on Sunday.
Oh yeah, Jason Marshall. How's he been doing?
He's doing great so far. He's interviewing me on Sunday, August the 17th.
Yeah, we really like Jason Marshall every time we're on his show there. It's always a lot of fun, eh? And we had a good time this week on, what did we do on Wednesday there? We were on one of your favorite shows there.
Kings and Clump.
That's right, up in Timmins, Ontario.
And Kings and Clump is come back late August.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good stuff there, Frankie. Well, you know, we got a few minutes left on the show. Any last words there, Brandon? Any last weird, odd, and bizarre things you could think of there? And we got still those thunderstorms are going on in northern Ontario. Still severe warned up there. It's still going on. Crazy, up to golf balls and tennis ball hail. That's nuts, eh? Big old hail. What would you do if a golf ball hail?
When it's 12 o'clock a.m. here, it's 6 o'clock in the morning in Moscow, Russia.
Yeah, they get up before us, eh? They got to start the day extra early to get all their evil things done.
Frankie, what time is it in South Korea?
It's daytime there.
Okay, well, here's a good one. So researchers were testing shrimp in the waterways in England, and they found in every one of the shrimps they tested, Frankie, every one of them, not just 1 or 5 or 10, every shrimp they tested.
That means people in Moscow, Russia, they go to bed long before you.
That's true, eh? You know what the researchers found in the shrimp in the waterways of England, Frankie? They found cocaine, ketamine, Xanax, Valium, as well as banned pesticides and harmful consumer products. You know what this means, Frankie?
They have to get the British police involved.
Yeah, well, the shrimp are on drugs. Those crazy shrimp.
Police.
Soon they'll be wandering around the neighborhood, like getting into trouble and stuff.
That means they have to get the police officers in the shore.
Yeah. I guess it's because everyone pees into the water, Frankie, and everybody in Britain is on drugs.
That means they have to get the police involved.
So the study found illicit drugs in medicine to assess how many consumer products are negatively affecting rivers, freshwater, and natural environments, such as drugs. The drugs are a real shock. They didn't realize how polluted with drugs the water is. The shrimp are on cocaine, Frankie. Such regular occurrences of illicit drugs in wildlife is surprising. We might expect to see them in urban areas like London, but not in rural communities.
That means they have to get the police involved. The police have to be there and inspect the shrimps for drugs.
Yeah, put up your hands, shrimp. We know how you got tiny little. You know, that's the thing about the shrimp. They don't need to buy a lot of drugs because they're so tiny. The shrimp are. They just need a little bit.
They have to get the police officers involved for shrimps and the scientists.
Start arresting shrimp. Arresting shrimp. What about the lobsters? I bet you there's lobsters in Nova Scotia that are high on crack.
They have to get the police invest the lobsters too.
Yeah, that's right. Police investigating the lobsters there. The presence of pesticides banned in the UK. It's like, what do shrimps need pesticides for? That's evil. They're like trying to kill the little bugs or whatever. I had no idea how nefarious shrimp were, Frankie. They're absolutely criminal out there. Next thing you know, they'll be stealing and in all kinds of trouble there. And whatnot. And then maybe they'll even be, if the waters dry up, they'll be homeless, drug
That
addicted
means
shrimp
they have to
everywhere.
take a bunch of shrimps to the police station to investigate.
Yeah, I guess so, eh? So that's pretty much what I got for you this week on the radio broadcast there. Thanks everybody in Prince George and Winnipeg and Kamloops and Lillooet. Thanks to all you radio listeners who are listening to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, and things like that. And thanks to everybody on the YouTube watching us live right here
If you
on
want
the
to,
channel Joey Only
if you
Care
want to
Weather Dude
follow
YouTube.
me, if you want to follow me on social media, my blue sky is at Frankie McD, and my Reddit is FrankDo984. My link tree is Frankie McDonald's. My threads is at Frankie McD984, and my X for me Twitter is at Frankie McD. My Facebook is Frankie McDonald. My Instagram is Frankie McD984. My TikTok is FrankDo984. My Clapper is FrankDo984. My Twitch is FrankDo984. My Snapchat is Frankie MECD1. My YouTube channel is Dogs Wolves. And my LinkedIn is Frank Do. Best luck to you. I'm Frank Do. You're listening to Comedeorological Weather Report every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic.
Yeah, well, you know how crazy people are now, Frankie? So 4 years ago, this guy went to Bologna Bakery. Now, Bologna Bakery is in Paterson, New Jersey, and he ordered an egg sandwich. But what happened was they gave him an eggplant sandwich instead. He got an eggplant sandwich. So last week, yeah, they made a mistake, I guess. Last week, he allegedly went back. I don't know about allegedly. Like, I mean, was someone
It
stabbed
means
or
the
not?
people that work there in a hurry, that means they will get fired.
No, they got stabbed. He went back and stabbed the owner of the 4 years later. He's just sitting there for 4 years. Could you imagine that?
Wait a minute.
They are,
If the owner's alive, he get fired.
they are Abed and Mohammed Assad. So they are, the culture of the climate of racism and immigrant paranoia is probably fueling this guy. He's probably some kind of an extreme maniac and extremist. Nonetheless, he sat there for 4 years thinking about it. He's like, well, and like I've had this kind of conversation with myself before. It's like, well, you only got one chance to go to prison for life. So like, what would I do to get, I wouldn't want to waste it on something, but this is this one guy's chance to go to prison for life. And this is what he chose to do it for. He chose to go stab some people over an eggplant sandwich from 4 years ago. My God. Yeah, don't go stabbing people at all. I'm just kind of kidding here, folks. That stabbing is bad, but especially don't be stabbing people for sandwiches. That's so crazy. Crazy. Yeah, so he confronted the woman at the counter and then just started, he's like, I got a sandwich last time. They gave me some eggplant. I don't like eggplant. And he's looking, and then he just stabbed the owners. And the guy, so Abed Assad got their arm bandaged, stabbed him in the arm. Crazy over an eggplant sandwich. I've never heard of an eggplant sandwich, first of all. I mean, that is pretty crazy, but that's the show this week. That's the news, everybody. Comedy Meteorology Report. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks for being with us. All right. Well, that's the show, Frankie.
That's the show.
That's the show, Brandon.
Oh yeah, that is the broadcast for tonight.
That is.
Yeah, I changed it on you.
Yeah, even Karen knows it's the show too, right, Karen?
Yeah.
Okay. That is the show. Frankie's gone. Yeah. Stabbed over a sandwich. Maybe I should take this seriously. People are sending me death threats. So, I wasn't trying to be that crazy.
Any death threats? Over what?
Well, I made a video about the YouTubers that got killed there, and
Really?
yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was that offensive, anything I said.
No, those are like, yeah, that was a tribute to them.
Kinda, yeah. I was trying to be and now we find out the truth. So
What?
I'm finding out from Matt that he was actually on the scene and seeing the incident, this guy. So that's what's going on.
Matt Ryan?
This guy that sent me that really angry message, he was there for the incident. So like that's terrible to hear. That doesn't make it okay to freak out at me. People are going to talk about this. I'm sorry that that people had to see it, but Yeah, I mean, I wasn't talking them down.
So it was a freak accident.
I think it was probably a freak accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my assumption all along, but yeah, well, I'll just reply to Matt. Uh, mean to be negative about it. I said they were beautiful and bad things happen to good people.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Now at least we know. And hey, I mean, I blocked that guy, but now I wish I'd said something. But that's just my go-to when someone sends me something on Hinge is just to hit block. Like,
No, block them. That's a
'cause,
horrible accident.
well, yeah, exactly.
Block
I think
negativity though.
I think I started off in the video too, talking about how I got hit by lightning last month. Like, we're out there doing things, living our life the way we want to live it.
Yep.
And there's some danger to that. There's some danger to that, right?
Well,
And
I
some
would
of
like
it,
to go storm chasing, but I really don't want to get hit by lightning.
thing is, I was doing that 30 years ago. That's always what I've loved to do. That's why I was like, I should make a channel about the things I love doing.
And
So
shoot it. It's good.
yeah, well, again, my condolences, my apologies, and again, not trying to upset people, but people are gonna talk. That's the thing. You can't stop that. Yeah, people are saying in the comments, I thought it was done with great taste. Thanks, Helen. The world has always been nuts. That's true. Yeah. Well, anyways, that took the wind out of my sails for the night.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm not going to take the video down. Like,
don't take it down.
I stand by what I said. I'm not trying to increase someone's trauma.
You said what you said, and don't take the video down.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think they probably would have liked the term influencers either. I don't want to be remembered that way. That's my personal thing. I don't want to be remembered as an influencer. That's not really my goal. I don't think that was theirs either. I think they were just doing their thing and making good art, traveling, enjoying the world, and loving each other, and making good art.
What is the other term for influencers? So, like what they were doing, what is it? It's artist something like this. I don't know the term.
Term. Let's see here. Influencers. Influencers. So influencer, this is help of AI, is an individual who has built a significant online presence and can impact the opinions and behaviors of others, particularly their followers through social media. Influencer offers have a strong following in a specific niche, which is such as fashion, beauty, travel, or gaming, known for creating engaging content that resonates with their audience. Their recommendations can influence their purchasing decisions, making them valuable partners for brands seeking to reach a targeted audience. So that is the influencer definition.
I don't think that any of us fit that definition. I don't know if I'd even lump them. Like, when I think of influencer, I think of something that's kind of narcissistic. Like, here's a good example. Like, when I open up my Facebook, there's the reels, and there's always a good chance that the reels when it comes up is just like a bunch of girls dancing around and doing nothing. Like, I just never click on the reels because it's just, I'm gonna have the algorithm forever of titty girls dancing around, right? So to me, it's like that's kind of like the influencer culture. Like, look how I did my nails, look at my hair. You know, it's kind of like a more of a shallow thing to me. You know, I think like being a content creator, can you not be a creator and not be considered an influencer? You know, like you're there's something deeper that's driving you. There's something that you're trying to gift to the world from an artistic standpoint. I think that's from what I gather what people kind of appreciate about them. They went traveling and they film. Sure, I guess that fits in your influencer thing, but hey, this is what that's just telling their own story. It's telling their story, and then they're telling their story funded them to continue their story. You know, I don't want to be lumped as an influencer. If I get killed by lightning next week, you know, don't call me an influencer, please. Does that make sense at all?
Yep, does to me. Does.
So, anyways, I think they were much better than that. And wow, yeah, that really took over the episode tonight. But that seemed crazy when I seen that at first. I'm just like, wow, I better make sure people see that in case I go dead. Right? Like again, it's like how many death threats a year can you get?
Maybe too many.
Yeah. Oh well.
All right, guys. I got a little bed.
Yeah, I suppose.
I got to be at a music festival tomorrow night.
Well, because you're now like the one-man show.
Yes, yes. I got my ticket here. It is, yes. The weekend pass. Oh.
One-man show on the radio.
Yeah. On the radio. Forever. So I won't be on stage at the music festival singing, just saying. Nobody wants to hear that.
Sorry,
Nobody would pay
but
money
no
to
one
see that.
needs to hear that.
No.
Love you, but heard you on the radio. No singing.
Oh, good. You've heard me sing on the air. Excellent. I was almost gonna sing that commercial that I got today too.
Oh, you should have.
There is a jingle that goes with it, actually. So yeah, yeah. So I do my little thing, and then there's a jingle that goes, Northern Flare, heating and air, yeah! And a bunch of kids go on there. So yeah, I was hoping. But then I was still, we gotta make it 10 seconds. Okay, I don't have time to sing in 10 seconds, but anyways. And read all that stuff up.
You should have sang that.
Well, next time. Maybe if I do it live. Yeah, if I have to do it live, we are singing it. Oh yes. This is gonna go on for every hour of the day of a week. So it's people are gonna get tired of that very quickly. It's a singing Northern Flare, heating and air every half an hour. When they But yeah, if I have to do it live, we are singing just like smoking good barbecue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's the show.
Yeah.
That's a show.
Change the gears again.
I'm gonna go see if I can locate my bulletproof vests around here and and hunker down for the night.
Make sure you get your Northern Flare heating and air on. There we go.
There you go. All right, we'll see.